I invited my ex behind my husband's back. One kiss at the wedding ended it all. The night before my wedding, I couldn't sleep. The house was silent, too silent, like it was holding its breath. Then my phone lit up. Unknown number. But I knew that number. I had deleted it, changed phones, changed cities, yet it still felt familiar. "Congratulations, Mira." My blood went cold. His voice. Ethan. He didn't need to say anything else. The sound of his tone, quiet, calm, and knowing, pulled every old wound open again. I should have hung up. Instead, I asked, "How do you know?" "Everyone knows. You're marrying him tomorrow." I just wanted to say, "I'll be there." I froze. He wasn't invited. I told myself it didn't matter. He wouldn't come. He couldn't. I had moved on, hadn't I? But when I walked down the aisle, I saw him. In the back row. Black suit, no smile, eyes locked on me like a secret I'd tried to bury alive. For one split second, the world blurred. The priest's voice faded. The vows escaped my mouth automatically, but my eyes flickered back to him again and again. My husband, Daniel, squeezed my hand when he slipped the ring on my finger. Warm, steady, and yet, behind his shoulder, Ethan's eyes said something else entirely. "You still remember." I did, and that was the problem. The reception was a blur of laughter, champagne, and the kind of happiness you fake when your heart's not in it. Daniel was perfect, kind, loyal, everything I'd ever asked for. But every smile felt rehearsed, every cheer felt hollow. And then, through the crowd, I saw Ethan again, talking to Daniel's best man. Like he belonged there, like fate had decided to play a cruel joke. He approached me near midnight when Daniel was distracted by guests. "Congratulations," he said. His voice was low, quiet, dangerous. I whispered, "You shouldn't be here." He smiled. "You invited me." He wasn't wrong. I had. In secret. One impulsive message. One just to see you again. I didn't think he'd actually come. Now I wished he hadn't. It happened in the garden behind the venue. The music still played inside, a love song that didn't belong to us anymore. He stood close. Too close. The air felt charged, the way it does before a storm. "I just wanted to see you happy," he said. "Then leave," I whispered. He didn't. His hand brushed my arm. Slow, deliberate. A touch that remembered every secret between us. "Do you still think about me?" My silence was his answer. Then he kissed me. Soft, slow. It wasn't passion. It was memory. Dangerous and warm and wrong in every possible way. And then it was over. I pulled away, breath shaking. Somewhere inside I felt something crack open. The life I was supposed to have, bleeding into the one I'd buried. I didn't know Daniel was watching. The next morning he didn't speak to me. No accusations, no anger. Just silence. The kind that suffocates. He went about breakfast as if nothing had happened. Coffee, toast, a newspaper folded perfectly in half. But his eyes, cold, unreadable, followed me across the room. I told myself he hadn't seen. That maybe it was in my head. But the distance between us grew heavier by the hour. Later that night, I found my phone missing. Then I found it again. Unlocked, message history cleared. I stared at the screen. The single unsent draft glowed back at me. "Ethan, don't come." It had never been sent. Daniel had seen it. He played his part perfectly, smiled at dinners, held my hand in front of friends, kissed my forehead before bed. But I could feel it, the investigation behind his eyes. He started coming home early, checking my calls, watching me. No words, just quiet observation, like a detective who already knew the answer. Once I found a printed photo on my pillow, the garden, Ethan and me. Frozen mid-kiss. My stomach dropped. Daniel never mentioned it. But from that night on, every gesture, every look, every word from him carried an undertone of, I know. He was waiting for me to confess. I didn't, and that made it worse. It happened one evening in the study. He called me in with his usual calm, a glass of whiskey in his hand. "Do you love him?" he asked. The question sliced through the air. No anger, just precision. A scalpel, not a knife. "I made a mistake," I said, quietly. He nodded once, slow. "Everyone makes mistakes," he said. "Some just cost more than others." He handed me an envelope. Inside, photos. Dozens, from the wedding, from the garden. Each one sharper than memory. "I had a photographer capture every moment," he said, "even the ones you thought were private." I looked up. He wasn't angry. He wasn't hurt. He was satisfied. "You see," he said softly, "I didn't lose you that night. You lost yourself." Then he walked out. Weeks later, the papers arrived. No explanation, no confrontation, just his signature. The house felt empty without him, but also cleaner, quiet again, cold again. I packed my things in silence. As I closed the last box, my phone buzzed. A message. "Do you regret it? Ethan." I stared at the words for a long time. Then I typed, "No. I regret not ending it sooner," and hit send. For the first time in months, I felt something like peace. Not relief, not joy, just the weight of truth settling in. When I walked out of that house, I didn't look back. Not once. Because some mistakes don't ruin you. They reveal who you really are.
How could you do this?